in a row and then start down in a giddy spin as though it would never come out. With a flash of polished wings, it whipped out, did a dangerous slow roll 1,000 feet off the ground, and started back upstairs, motor yowling. He started to say,
"Good flying."
And then, with a scowl, he changed it to,
"Damned fool. He'll kill himself."
Pam was always doing something like that. Blast her. Where was Pam anyway? He hadn't seen her for 3 weeks, and they hadn't been together much since that fatal flight early in the spring. To the dictaphone,
"Advise against this flight as being an expensive risk. Commercial circumnavigation is not feasible in present planes. Participation of United States Airlines bars us through added risk. Jones."
He sighed and pushed a buzzer for a stenographer. When she came and took the cylinder away, he almost stopped her. Somehow he felt depressed. For an instant, he allowed himself to dwell upon the sporting possibilities of that flight. It would be a good race, an exciting one. And if they won, he brought himself up by the mental scruff of his neck. Too much of a risk. Impossible. The silver plane was still cavorting over the edge of the field, barely falling within the Department of Commerce law on stunt flight. The motor changed its pitch like an angry beast snarling. The sun struck fire from the fabric and the prop. That pilot was having a good time.
But that sort of thing doesn't get aviation anywhere,"
muttered Caution. He thought about that for a while. Safe and sane flying advanced flight. Stunts retarded it. Aviation was a business coming out of swaddling clothes. Pilots were no longer half devil, half eagle. They were responsible men who had serious work to do. Aviation was as dangerous as you made it, and until the public stopped thinking that aviation was dangerous, airlines would still show their earnings on the red side of the ledger.
"Stunts never got anybody anyplace."
Caution said it with a determined clamp of his jaw. This round-the-world service would almost fall under the heading of a stunt. On his wall he had long ago tacked a chart. It was more decoration than anything else, done in small galleons and spouting whales, with palms where Africa was outlined, and with Pizarro down with the Incas, and with cherubs blowing with puffed-out cheeks, showing the prevailing wind directions. Yes, the chart was very ornamental. It showed the routes of Columbus, the more deserving Vasco da Gama, of Magellan. Caution stood before the chart with his hands behind his back. Magellan's route was traced in dotted lines. What an undertaking that had been! It had taken from the 10th of August, 1519, until late fall, 1522, a lapse of 3 years, 1,000 days and more. Magellan dead in the Philippines, his ships wrecked and abandoned, his crew dying from scurvy and starvation and thirst, killed by savages, buffeted by mighty storms. Magellan had accomplished the dream of Columbus, had never lived to see that one vessel, the Victoria, limp into port at Spain. And now they were going to do it regularly in 1 week's time. His nostrils quivered a little. He saw the names on the chart, the Aleutians, Japan, Russia, Poland, Germany, and France. Angrily, he turned away from the map and threw himself into his desk chair. Craig, hair bushy and stiff as steel wool, his face the color of raw beef, entered with a militant stride and thumped himself onto the edge of the desk.
"What's this note you sent me?"
demanded Craig.
"You don't like this world flight?"
"No.
Said Caution.
That's what I'm paid to do.
What?
See that TCA keeps going."
But look at that potential earning.
United States Airlines,
Said Caution with a shake of his head.
is going in for this thing. And they're after our scalps. They're buying up our stocks, cutting our rates, and shortening our schedules. Mercer is going to hammer us into the middle of next week, and if Mercer and United States Airlines don't want us in that race, they'll see that we stay out, or kill our pilot.
Nuts.
And we're almost on the rocks. We can barely keep running.
Craig sat up, astonished, blowing hard.
Why didn't you tell me?
My job is to keep you from working hard, isn't it? You have enough to worry you. But you can look at our ledgers. We're running in the red. And if things don't pick up, TCA will disappear from the skyways. All the work you and I have done will be gone.